Alright, welcome back to iXu Chatters. And today we're probably going to be quick and casual on this one, because I actually have an idea for a series I want to do. Possibly starting later today, possibly starting tomorrow. I'll probably record a good chunk of it today. Um, but how about I actually put some gameplay on screen while I think about it? For those who aren't aware, I'm currently playing Spore. Specifically the Galactic Adventures expansion, as well as like any of the other little things. I don't have that weird Dr. Pepper, that weird Dr. Pepper sponsored expansion. I wish I could find codes for that. I actually had one of the bottle caps, but I didn't think to hang on to it um, until like because I was on vacation with the family at the time in Ohio. And so it was going to be like multiple days before I got to redeem it, and I just kind of forgot about it. Anyways, I don't know. Let's just make a random creature. That sounds like it could be fun. iXu chatters. What shall I chatter about today, though, is the question. Well, that is going to be, well, I just kind of play around with spine shape. That works. Recently, as I said, I believe in the previous iXu chatters, I went and did my interview at a different company. At a different company, at a company recently. Haven't heard back from them yet, but I am not losing hope just yet. Actually interviewed at a couple companies last week, and again, maybe we'll hear from them, maybe we won't. Alright. There we go. If you're not like catching on to what I'm basically building an upside down creature. Just everything is kind of vertically flipped to where it should be. I think that would be entertaining. What else have I done recently that like would be worthy of talking about? I guess I'm finally a real creator now, because I'm now being relentlessly given targeted ads for AI-generated video content. It's like, hey, use this for your videos. I'm like, no. I think I will not. Because that just... No, I want my videos to actually be me. Not to mention the companies in question that are advertising this. I did a very brief Google search, and it's like, yeah, basically if you use any of their assets, they then just automatically copyright claim your YouTube video. So it's all just a massive scam to begin with. So yeah, no, I don't think I will do that. But no. I had an idea for a series. I wanted to do a series, funnily enough, on Spore, because I looked through my old catalog of like stuff that I put out again back when I think the oldest I could have been when I did any of the content on the channel before the first like announcement video that I was coming back was I think the oldest I could have been is maybe 16. For context, I am in my late 20s now, so a lot has changed since then. And as of current, I'm just kind of trying to have a means of... I just want something to do with my time, honestly. Let's use these. I have been sort of shut in the last few months because, Yeah. Hmm. I like this. Hang on, let me like do this slightly. Here we go. Oh god. That is the stuff of nightmares. But yeah, no, I wanted to do a series. Sorry, I'm getting off track. I wanted to do a series where I go through Spore. I was going through my old content, and I noticed that I had a Spore series that I started and ended up sort of giving up on after 2 episodes because the game kept crashing midway through. And I don't know if that won't still be an issue if I try recording Spore, but I've noticed that Spore... I think the big problem was back when I was first making YouTube videos, I was recording using... I didn't even have like a computer with a dedicated GPU in it. That was like the big problem. It was a... what was it? It was like the Intel HP 4000 or whatever. It was like this integrated chipset that wasn't even really all that good. I was amazed how well it could run things. Of course, nowadays I have an actual, like, proper desktop that has it's not cutting edge or anything. I don't even have, like, a 2000 series in it, or a 20 series in it. But, it runs when I need it to, which is mostly just stuff from my, childhood. Sorry, I know I'm not really... I'm talking a lot and not doing a lot of gameplay. I'm just thinking about what I want to do here. Let's, like, raise this up. And we're gonna add some antlers. Alright, we're gonna... There we go. That looks absolutely insane. And we're gonna add some stuff here. That's like the underbelly armor, and then it's gonna have like a big shell on the bottom. But no, I wanted to do a Spore. It's hard to talk and be like creative at the same time. I find this is a skill set that I lack somewhat. I had the idea for a series, right? I wanted to go back. I wanted to do Spore again. Right. I think it's like a third time I've tried to explain this. I wanted to do Spore again, but the thing that kept coming up was the fact that I know this is going to sound a bit weird, especially from people who are still playing. Don't question what that hole is. Playing Spore this long. Sorry. Bit of a sneeze. Bit, dust. I cannot stand the incredibly repetitive nature of the space phase. And you may notice, have remembered that in my, like, B-roll I had for my announcement of, like, this channel kind of coming back and what I was going to do with it, I used Stellaris as a game for some of the B-roll. And while I did want to give Stellaris its own, like, dedicated series, I also wanted to maybe use it as a chance, because I always thought that part of the appeal to me of Stellaris is that it's basically Spore's space stage, but, like, the camera has been pulled back from just one specific spaceship to the entire civilization of your species. And all the kind of deranged, unhinged... Is he, like, stabbing themselves with their... Yeah, hang on, let's just, like... do that. Okay, here we go. It's like for rooting around in dirt. But I had this idea that I wanted to basically play through Spore, create a creature as we went, And then once we got to the space stage, once we ended civilization stage, we then we like build an empire in Stellaris that's like a continuation of the story of that species. And we have like an origin that kind of makes sense for them. We have, kind of their ethics and their civics be the same, or at least as close as you can get. Because I know some of the monstrosities you can make in Spore are nothing like what you would see in Stellaris. And what I do for that series is have like a reference image in mind based on kind of what we end up. Because, I mean, let's face it, Spore creatures are largely random in their appearance. Stellaris does have a set number of portraits. Even if you make custom ones, it still is a lot of effort. I always thought it'd be an interesting way to see if you could make like animated portraits using Spore for Stellaris, because I mean it is just a GIF at the end of the day. So like if you could get like somehow take the kind of like PNG data and use a program to like make it like kind of tween between a couple poses. I don't know. That might be something worth looking into. But I don't know. Somebody more talented than me can look into that, or more dedicated, I suppose. Yeah, no. I'm thinking what I'll do Spore series leads into Stellaris series, and then we just go from Stellaris like a full playthrough. That could be interesting, though I'm not sure how I would, like, name that series, because if I call it Spore to Stellaris, like, if I just say it's one or the other, it would be kind of weird, especially if I end up putting them in, like, the same playlist. At the same time, I don't know, like, what would that look like? Like green. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. But I like the idea of like kind of using Stellaris as like a substitute for Spore Space Stage. So that way we can get a little bit more in depth. If we can get a little more like kind of the space part of the playthrough, because I've seen people do like full playthroughs of Spore before, and what usually ends up happening is like the first 4 stages are like all an episode each, and then maybe like you have like 2 episodes of a creature stage, because that's a fairly lengthy that's like one of the longer, more involved parts of the game. But then like you get this thing where it's like after like 6 or 7 episodes of every episode it being something kind of different, and then it's just a space stage for the entirety of the rest of this thing. It gets a little, especially since Spore, even with Galactic Adventures, Spore's space stage gameplay can be very repetitive. And maybe like it would be worth doing a full series where maybe we just do nothing but space stage. But then again, I kind of question how interesting that would be to watch. But yeah, that's a very long and rambly way of thinking of what I'm doing, of what I'm planning. First episode of that might come up later today. I don't know. Anyways, let's end this by just naming this. What are we gonna call this? We're gonna call this a mess. I don't know what the hell else you call this. We're gonna call it the upside. This is gonna be like ups. No, come on. This is how I type normally. A down pod. It is mostly the wrong way up. Okie dokie. Well, with that done, I possibly have some more recording to do. Or I'm just going to, I don't know. I'm debating on whether or not I should even put this out. But I hope you enjoyed at least watching me throw something together in a game that you might be nostalgic for, and me just kind of umming and erring my way through explaining kind of how my week has gone so far and how, what I plan on doing soon. TM. All right. From the upside downosaurus or whatever the hell I just called. Is there a wave? Hang on. Is there a wave? What was this? Yeah. From me and the upside down pod. Um, I hope you have a good rest of your day. I'll see you next time.